Hi, my name is Houston Haynes, and we're here at my studio to show how the SmartAV Tango works as a front end to Steinberg's Cubase. In this video, we're going to focus on track level functions, the active channel area, as well as the rotary encoders, which offer a really nice hardware front end to Cubase. One of the most prominent features of the Tango is the array of 16 rotary encoders on the right side of the touchscreen area. They not only continuously turn, but they also have push-button activation that works differently depending upon the control's context. Also notice the 8 rotary encoders within each fader section. They also have the same function and behavior, and often interact with the encoders to the right, chasing to the selected control for the 8 channels that are selected within the fader area. On the right-hand side of the touchscreen area next to the encoder section is the active channel. Here you'll see detailed information for the track that's currently selected in the fader bank. At the bottom is the active display, something that is very useful in a variety of contexts. The active display area lets you drill into your inserts, dynamics, EQ, sends, and output assignments. Simply touch the respective area on the touchscreen for a particular channel, and the active display gives you a context for working in that area in detail. You will also see the context of the rotary encoders change as the active section of a particular channel changes. The 8 rotary encoders along the fader section will also chase to the last touched encoder on the right-hand side of the screen, giving you instant access to the same active parameter across all channels that are loaded in the fader section. The active controls located just below the touchscreen area's active display provides a motorized pot and fine control encoder, as well as a push button for activating controls. All of these areas work together to provide a consistent hardware interface to Cubase in the window, both its built-in functions and, of course, internal and third-party plugins. For dialing in equalizer settings, Tango provides 2 views that correspond to the physical encoders. Once you activate the equalizer section of a channel, you can toggle the Active Encoders button on the lower left-hand side of the touchscreen to switch the EQ view. Notice that the encoder for the gain control on each section also acts as a push-button switch to turn the EQ section on and off. When the Active Encoder setting shows the advanced EQ layout, you can also touch the screen area to perform the same function. There's still another location where you can activate an EQ section, and that's the Active Controls area. The push button acts as a switch for the currently selected EQ. You may also notice the motorized pot will chase to the setting of the currently selected control. The fine control in the active controls area is a handy way to dial in a more specific value for a parameter. You can also perform this function in certain situations by pressing the relevant encoder. You'll see a pair of arrows that indicates control in fine adjustment mode, and the parameter will increment in smaller values. Here, the frequency setting switches from incrementing by every 100 Hz to a fine value of every 10 Hz. And when the EQ shows the advanced layout, the push button action on the third encoder on each section switches between the EQ band type and Q factor. The push button action on the encoders in the fader section toggles the bypass of the entire EQ section, which is great for quickly auditioning your changes. Another example of how the encoders and active display are put to good use is in the output section. Touch the output of any track in the fader bank and you notice that the active channel area switches to show groups, FX channels, and mix buses that are available. From here, you can select the output routing of the channel. The active display area is also now an active screen for setting the pan of the track, which is kind of boring for stereo tracks, but that all changes when you've routed to a 5.1 bus. Simply draw the surround pattern with your finger, and the output is routed to the surround bus per the surround panner settings in Nuendo. This is another good time to have the mixer available to modify your surround panner settings. This is when the Tango becomes a really interesting, fun, and intuitive way of working with your tracks. Once you get a feel for how this all comes together so quickly, you'll wonder how you ever got along without it. Well, we've run out of time again. I'll show some other features using the Tango's hardware controls in the next chapter. And don't forget to check out the latest information, product updates, and other online videos at smartav.net. Thanks for watching.